Our pilgrimage leads us next to the Basilica of Saint Sebastian outside the walls. The site of the Basilica holds a large underground burial area of early Christians called the Catacombs. The first church on this site was built during the Christian persecutions in the 3rd century AD. According to the traditions, the remains of Saint Peter and Saint Paul were kept hidden here during the persecution. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine built a large basilica on this spot dedicated to the memory of the apostles called the Basilica Apostolorum. Around 350 AD, the relics of Saint Sebastian were also placed in these catacombs, and both the basilica and the underground burial place were dedicated to this saint. Saint Sebastian was serving as the captain of the Praetorian Guard during the reign of Diocletian in the 3rd century. As a Christian and member of the high military ranks, Sebastian could discreetly help the Christians that were imprisoned by the emperor. His influence grew to the point that he helped to convert many members of the court. Once his actions were discovered, Diocletian sentenced him to be tortured and shot to death by arrows. The devotion to Saint Sebastian has been very popular since the 3rd century, and even when the catacombs were abandoned during the Middle Ages, pilgrims have kept on traveling here to honor the memory of the saint. Fearing a Saracen assault in 826, the remains of the saints were transferred to the Basilica of Saint Peter. In 1218, Pope Honorius III had Saint Sebastian's remains returned to the Basilica. The basilica was completely reconstructed in the 17th century. The front facade features granite columns once belonging to the former Constantinian basilica. The interior features a single nave with a carved wooden ceiling. On the right-hand side, there is the Chapel of the Relics, which preserves a stone that is believed to bear the footprints of Jesus and an arrow that pierced Saint Sebastian, together with a fragment of the column to which he was tied during martyrdom. Also within this same reliquary chapel are some small relics said to be from Saint Peter, Saint Paul, Saint Andrew, and several other saints. On the left hand, we see the chapel of Saint Sebastian. In 1672, Antonio Giorgetti sculpted the statue of the saint that can be seen underneath the altar. The basilica also shelters the last masterpiece created by the great Gian Lorenzo Bernini, Il Salvator Mundi, a marble bust depicting Jesus the Savior. As pilgrims in this basilica, we are reminded that Saint Sebastian and other martyrs reflect the face of the Church. It is an invitation to become the bearers of the gospel message with conviction and courage.